What's up, Infected? Welcome to the Quarantine. Today I have a review for you by the name of Spoils of War from Arcane Wonders. Now, what is Spoils of War? Now, Spoils of War is a kind of a dice-rolling, bluffing game where you're all a bunch of Vikings and you've just raided a bunch of places and you have all of these spoils and loot and everybody wants everything. So you devise this way to go about deciding who's going to get what loot, which involves essentially gambling and bluffing. Alright, this is basically Spoils of War set up. Now I do have the cards here stacked like this to kind of save space. What you're going to do is you're going to make 9 stacks. Each stack is going to have, you're going to have 3 level 1s, 3 level 2s, and 3 level 3 stacks. And the number of cards in the stack are going to vary depending on the number of players. You're also going to divvy up the dice that you see here. Depending on the number of players, you're going to have different amount of dice. And then each player is going to get 70 gold, and then you're ready to go. Now I know some of you are probably saying, well, why are these cards face down? Well, some of the cards look like this. The other cards have a little blue thing here, and these are artifacts. Generally speaking, they're worth a little less, but they have special abilities. But all this game is you're going to take these dice here, roll them in your cup and flip them face down without throwing them across the table like I did. And then you're going to secretly peek under your cup like this to where nobody else can see it. And everybody is going to peek under their cup, and I don't know what either of these are. And I actually don't even for here. I just rolled them and put them face down. So now, starting with whoever the Viking chief decides is going to start their declaration. So if we look here, we have 3 5s. We also have 3 1s and 2 2s. So maybe I want to start low, and I'm going to say, I think on the entire table, I think there are 5 1s. Because I have 2, so surely there are 3 other 1s between them. But then it's going to go clockwise. So this player now has to say they can call me out and say I don't think there are 5 1s. Or they can increase the number of pips, or they can increase the number of dice. So they can go, I think there are 6 1s. Or maybe they can go, well, I think there's 5 4s. However, they couldn't say, I think there's 3 4s. Because even though they increase the number of pips, they decrease the number of dice. So they would go, you know what, I think there's 5 5s. Okay, now it's up to this guy. You know what, I think there's 8 5s. This thing comes back to me and I go, well, I have 2, or I have 3 of them. What are the chances that between them, they have 5 more? So I'm gonna go, you know what, I think there are 10 5s. This player here goes, no, there's no way there are 10 5s. So I would have to put my token as the declare, because I'm the one that declared there are 10 5s. Keeping in mind that this is still under here. This player would put their token out as the challenger, and this player, seeing as that they did not challenge, they get to decide who they want to help. So when they do, they're going to take this behind their screen, and they're going to decide, put the face up side on who they think. So you know what? No, they don't think there's 10 5s at all. So then they're going to decide how much of their gold are they willing to risk. So you know what? They're pretty confident. They're going to put 15. So they're going to have this held out in their hand like this. Then this player and this player are going to do the same thing. They're also going to take money, but because they have to be the declarer, you're just going to put your money in your fist. You're going to put it out. I'm pretty confident that there are 10 5s out on the table. So we're going to do this. This player is going to do the exact same thing. They're going to put this out like that, and then you're all going to reveal and see who helped who. So okay, we have this, and we have that. So we have they're siding with each other. So now everybody's going to reveal their dice, and you're going to count up the number of 5s. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are only 7. I declare that there were 10 5s. I lose. So my money is gone. These people get to keep their money, and whoever bid the highest, so in this case there would be a tie, but if somebody had bid the highest, it would go to whoever bid the highest. So this player would now be the Viking King. Then, starting with the Viking King gets to take 3 of these treasures. before anybody else. So maybe they're going to take this because they know it's going to have a sweet power on it. And then they're going to take this because it's worth the most. When you look at a card here, you have the gold value at the bottom. Now that's how many points it's going to be worth at the end of the game, because that is 3 gold, and you get points for all of the gold that you still have in front of you. So he's going to take these. Now, this player is going to read what's on the other side, and this is going to give them a really cool ability. Sometimes it's a persistent ability, sometimes it's a one-time use ability. So it's going to stay face down. At any time, or when the card says, you're going to reveal the card, and now you're going to activate its ability. So as long as it's face down, nobody knows how much that's actually worth, so it's kind of a hidden scoring mechanism. This player, like I said, also takes their money back, but they only get to choose 2 of these cards because they are not the Viking Chief. So maybe they'll go ahead and take this because they want some kind of sweet ability, and they'll take this because it's worth 2. The rest of these get removed from the game. Then a new set of cards come out, so these will go face up, face up, face down, face down, face down, face down. So we have quite a bit of artifacts out this time. And then you're going to do the same thing over again. The Viking Chief is going to decide you are going to go first. So now we all roll our dice, and I got to go, okay, I think there are 5 3s because I have 4 of them. And you're going to keep doing the same thing through all 9 of the rounds of the game. And as the game goes on, the treasure gets progressively more and more. At the end of the game, you're going to add up all of the gold that you have left, and then you're going to add up all of the gold from the treasures that you've collected, whether face down or face up. You're going to get full gold value. Whoever has the most gold is declared the winner. Alright, spoils of war. Well, when I went to the Gen Con booth for Arcane Wonder, I was actually going to pick up my Sheriff of Nottingham expansion because, I love Sheriff of Nottingham, and it's a good, fun family game. And when I gave him my card and let him know I was a reviewer and I was networking a little bit, I'd never heard of Spoils of War, and they're like, do you want to review it? I'm like, sure, I'd love to review it. Brought it home, we played it, and I'm not going to beat around the bush, we had a blast with this game. Now, anybody who's played Liar's Dice, the way Liar's Dice works is it's pretty much the same concept minus the loot. You're going to roll the dice and you're trying to decide, okay, who's, I think there's 6 6s, I think there's, 7 6s, I think there's so on and so forth. But whoever's wrong just loses a die. So now their information pool gets smaller and smaller. This, you always keep all of your dice. But you add a gambling mechanism into that now, where how confident with your choice are you? Sometimes you're forced to make, you don't think they're lying, but you're forced to up the call or up the amount of dice. You don't really want to do it. So, okay, do you go ahead and just say something completely off the wall and knowing the next person's going to call you on it, and then just bid like 5 because it's the minimum you can bid just so you can get it off your shoulders? Or how confident are you? Are you confident? Do you want to go ahead and 20 gold? You want to make sure you're that Viking Chief to get that extra card and have that extra power next round to go, you are choosing first. That way you have more information to go with by what each person's saying that they think there is on the table. And that's such a cool mechanic because then you get these loot that some of them give you special abilities, and a lot of the time the cards that give you special abilities are usually going to be worth less than their face-up counterpart, essentially. And that's not a hard, fast rule. That's kind of the average that I got. Some of them are still worth a lot, but you're looking at less points, but you're also getting these really cool abilities. Like one of them, you're able to just re-roll 2 of your dice. So you're going to roll, slap it down, and then you take 2 dice, re-roll them. That's now your pool. So maybe you want to try to have a bunch of 5s, so you can just declare this completely off the wall number. Everybody calls you, and you're right. And everybody's like, no way. And because you just have to have that number or more. So if I declare there's 8 5s and there's 12 on the table, I was still right. And that's so fun. However, some people are not going to like the game. Anybody who doesn't like dice and doesn't like gambling may not like the game. But really, that's the only problem we found with the game is if you don't like gambling and you don't like dice and the fact that you are playing the odds, statistically, how many of this number is there on the field? Then you're probably not going to like the game. On top of that, this does also have a rich get richer system to it, because as you know, if I'm constantly doing well and I'm bidding on the right horse every time, and I'm getting all these loot cards and I'm getting these cool abilities, I'm just getting stronger as the game goes. And you know, if you're constantly betting on the wrong horse, and you're not doing well, you're going to keep falling behind because, you know, everybody else is gaining these cool abilities. However, I personally felt that it's mitigated because you can bid on the winning horse. It's just a matter of who do you think is right. You know, you don't always have to call. You can, you know, if somebody else before you calls, which one of those two do you think you're right? You just got to bid on the right horse. But some people are definitely going to have a problem with that. Outside of that, I highly recommend this game. It's a good, fun, light little family style game where you can chuck some dice and start blurting that there's 39 of some number and everybody goes, there is no way. But on top of that, if you could get more dice, you could actually play this game with really any number of players. If I'm not mistaken, the rulebook has rules in the back to be able to play with 10 people, which would be completely insane, but a lot of fun. And that is my review for Spoils of War. It's good, fun, light, family weight style gambling, essentially. But it's a lot of fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.